Hey, buddies. What's going on, buddies? How you doing, buddies? Are you guys happy? You guys so happy? He just wants to lick it. He just like, I love you. We're not fanboys. We're not. We try not to be, but
All right.
Yeet. Oh shit, cat. Nope, we're good. What's going on, guys? Winterhouse Gaming Podcast. How you doing?
Yo.
Okay, so yes. Okay, we got him. Okay, Winterhouse Gaming has got it covered. PlayStation 5 covered. We have been. We're still smitten over it. All right, you kind of have to be. Now that I'm over the fact that a few people are going to be, a little bit jealous. Sorry, Shane. I love you right to death, but still gonna be, showing them off a little bit. This and that.
We got to. We have
Yep.
an obligation to show them off.
An obligation to show them, right.
Contractual obligations.
Okay, so it has been a little bit of time since we've had them. We've had them for a few weeks now. Now, I want to know. What you've seen that's kind of weird. What has happened? What kind of little mess ups have you guys seen with your systems, if any? Because I know every single console is not going to be the same. Some of them are going to work really, really well. Other ones are probably going to have their issues. So have you guys had any issues at all? Let's start with you, Kelly.
So I've had one issue in particular where actually, when I was installing Demon Souls, it deleted my save file for Dirt 5. And then once Dirt 5 was installed, all I had to do is reinstall Demon Souls again. And then I was playing Dirt 5, and then it just decided to yeet Demon Souls off of my system entirely.
Which is
insane.
Deleted
everything, and I just had to reinstall it. All of my save data was there, thankfully.
Right, because it saves it.
Yeah.
It's still weird.
But then all of my save data for Dirt 5 was gone.
It's just gone. You had to restart?
I had to restart.
Dude, that sucks. Yo, Corey, thank you very much for the 830 stars. We appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Stars.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, so that's weird. I'm gonna install this game, and then this game's just gonna disappear.
Yeet itself off.
That's literally what happened, and twice.
Right. So it happened.
It was so strange.
So after you reinstalled, everything was fine?
Yeah, everything's been fine since. I haven't had any problems with Dirt 5 since, and I haven't had any problems with Demon Souls. They've both run flawlessly.
Good.
In fact, I love both of those games.
Now, there has been
awesome.
one or two updates since release, very small updates. That may have fixed the problem.
Yeah.
It may have.
It definitely could have, for sure.
Eric, did you have any weird things happen? I know you've been probably going ham on your time off.
Well, I mean, the only...
time off?
I was going to say, I mean...
Quotations, time off.
The biggest issue I have with my PS5 is I haven't had enough time to play it because of the fact I've been working so much lately.
For real.
Which is why you guys haven't seen my face much recently.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I know people are going to make comments of like, oh, well, if you don't have much time to play it, how do you already have 2 PS5 Platinum trophies?
Oh,
that's because...
hold on. They take an hour each to platinum.
I was going to say, I am, as I've mentioned on here before, a very efficient trophy hunter.
Yeah.
I specifically target the shortest playtime platinums first. So Astro's Playroom, that's like a 3-hour platinum.
I asked you that question about a year ago. I said, how we were on a podcast, how the hell do you platinum things so damn fast? And you're like, the trick is to do the ones that a child could do.
Well, it's not even
that. Just do the ones that are short,
but the faster ones.
I mean,
like Dark Souls
Remastered.
Dark Souls Remastered is not an easy platinum, but it's like a 30 to 40 hour platinum, which is, compared to like Red Dead Redemption or something that's like 100 plus hour, is a relatively shorter.
If you're
platinum.
someone who is into the Dark Souls games, 30 to 40 hours to platinum that game is probably nothing for you compared to how much time you've already put in. So
exactly. So So, you know, I mean, yeah, I do have some like longer platinums on my list. Games like Final Fantasy X remake remastered that was like 100+ hours.
Dude,
and like
yeah.
Warriors Orochi
Assassin's
3,
Creed
I
Odyssey,
don't
which
even
was
want
like
to know how many hours that
150
was.
hours.
So you mean you don't do
So,
the really
yeah.
hard ones where it makes you like in midair you have to impale 2 people with a shovel?
If
You laugh, but there's something like that on Far Cry where you
No,
have to impale 2 people in midair. I don't know if you have to be in midair or the people have to be in midair, but it's a little fucked up.
I have plenty of hard platinums. I mean, I've platinumed BioShock Infinite. Anybody who's attempted that game on 1999 difficulty knows that is no small feat.
That's awesome.
That's difficult. Yeah, that's difficult for sure.
Like I have a lot of hard platinums, but most of the games I've platinumed are on like the shorter end of like the time expenditure scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've already platinumed Astro's Playroom, which like I said, that was like a 3-hour platinum. You can do that in one sitting. And a game that really surprised me, which is Bugsnax.
Yes.
That game, like when I saw anything about it, I was like, I just completely dismissed it. I'm like, that game looks stupid. I have no interest. But it was free on PlayStation Plus, and I saw that it was like a 12-hour plat, and I'm just like,
okay, so
I'll
playing,
download it just for kicks. And if I like it, I'll platinum it. Yeah. And I fucking fell in love with it. Like,
he's like, guys, this is surprisingly really fun.
Yeah, like it's incredibly good. It has so much heart and so much like character to it. That,
so playing the whole like, 2.5
I want to
games...
go through Bugsnax again, even though I've already platinumed it. And it is rare that a game makes me want to do that. So
actually, let's follow up on that in a little bit, because we're going to go a little bit further into something like that. And even with Bugsnax, you can kind of go a little bit further. But right now, playing the 2.5 games that you've played on PlayStation 5, did you have any weird issues turning it on, turning it off? Have you gone into safe mode? I mean, not safe mode. Standby.
Standby, yeah.
You know what?
No, like I said, the only issue I've had is that I haven't had enough time to play it. Like I've had, as far as the system's performance, it's been fucking aces for me.
You know what's weird? Yeah. I'm hearing odd rumors and things going around out there that people are receiving PS5s with different cooling units in them than were supposed to come in them. Like the ones that, you know, like we all saw the fan when they did the video where they took it apart. People are saying that they received units that had different fans and cooling units in them.
Weird.
You mean like just different size fans?
Different size fans, different units altogether.
Okay. I mean, I understand like, you know, buying a fan from this company and then needing more and buying them from that company. As long as they run in the same speed, that might not be a terrible thing. So I'm just
people have also reported the ones that are different being louder.
No.
I can see that being a thing. Yeah. I know like a lot of systems will have different like parts made from different manufacturers and stuff. Like I think like was it PS2s in particular had like 4 different like companies disk drives in it, you know, like depending on which version or when you bought the system or which like SKU it was. Right. But like yeah, as long as it runs to the same specs, it shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I'd imagine some of them might run a little bit quieter or louder than others, but
yeah, no, that you know, I guess that does kind of make sense. I haven't spent as much time next to other consoles as my own. Obviously, I do know mine does make a little bit of noise when it starts up with the disk drive.
Yeah, that's kind of normal. Really the only time that mine makes noise at all.
But as long as my system isn't louder than my gaming laptop, I'm fine. I'm okay with it, because nothing is going to be louder than that fucking thing. God damn. And my PS4 Pro, forget about that. Holy crap.
Sounds like a fucking aircraft.
Dude, it's unreal. I mean, it would still play for hours and hours and hours, but so as far as
I have no problems with my PS4 Pro. It just sounds like a fucking jet engine sometimes.
Right. It's running great. It's just really fucking loud. Yeah. So as far as the stuff that I've had happen, and a few of you watching my streams, have actually seen it happen. And I actually think Christopher West is to blame, because he kept saying, hey, you're playing Spider-Man. Put it in rest mode real quick. See what happens. He kept wanting me to put it in rest mode because of that whole entire thing with Spider-Man.
Bad idea.
Put it in rest mode. It's never going to come off. So I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Probably about 40 minutes later, all of a sudden, my whole entire system's black. Boom, gone. It just powered off instantly. And it didn't slowly come off. It's just, boom, off. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm sitting here like on stream like, guys, I don't know what just fucking happened. I don't know what just fucking happened. So I knew a little bit from the PS3 days that you hold the button, you wait just a few minutes, hear it beep twice. It actually resets the video on it. I think because I have it hooked up into a capture card, that for some reason the system was trying to change the resolution and it just got confused and overheated, maybe overheated, or just flicked off like a blue screen of death for hardware. Right. So I thought that something like that had happened. So basically, after I restarted it, everything was fine. I said, okay, I'm gonna just finish Spider-Man as quick as I can, take it out of the system, and never play it again. And that's kind of what I did. A couple other things that had happened is I did get booted from games multiplayer from Godfall. That happened 5 or 6 times. But again, even with PlayStation 4, that had happened all the time.
It's a pretty common thing.
It's a very common thing. The cool thing is,
and I can't imagine that being like a console level.
Right. I don't think it was either.
I'd imagine that's like a game code.
I think that's a game code or server level issue.
Yeah, and absolutely could have been. So, the cool thing is though, the system boots so incredibly fast that nobody noticed anyway.
Guys, did you notice that my background just changed?
Yes. I did notice that.
I thought you did that on your own.
It kind of looks like funky smoke, so I was just going to leave it.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I thought you were blowing fat vape clouds over there or something.
Yes.
Well, I thought that too. I'm just like, what is happening over there, dude?
Clearly, I'm just blowing fat vape clouds because Kelly's a vapor now.
Oh,
obviously.
Oh God, please no. So yeah, it's one of those things that is just gonna happen with new systems. I admire people that want to wait, and the specific reason some people are waiting is for something that my brother sent me yesterday. He said, and this is a quote from him, and this was actually really funny coming from in my head. I'm just like, oh, are you new to gaming, bud? Is this your first time in 2020? He goes, hey, Sony just did a full right hook to Xbox. And I said, why?
It's only a rumor. Yeah.
Are we talking about the Pro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what they do. They've done it, I think, once or twice, right? We didn't have a PS3 Pro. We just had a better running Pro.
They had the Slim. They had the original, which was a fucking mammoth. And then they had like some weird in between.
But yeah, there's going to be a mid-gen refresh at some point.
It's what they do.
That's to be expected. It's not going to be anytime soon. They literally just launched the console. It's at least like 3 years out.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years maybe.
Yeah. And then they might release like a Slim in like 2 years.
Right.
It'll be like, the same hardware but just in a smaller shell or something like that. And then maybe a year or two after that, have like a PS5 Pro. I don't put a whole lot of stock into it coming.
I don't either. Won't, it's gonna be in the last part of the console.
But the point of the whole thing was
he
was all like, oh, look at this, oh my God. I'm like, I'm not surprised about
this.
That
was something that they were experimenting with in development, was adding 2 different graphics cards to the PS5 to see if they can like up the graphical power, but they just decided to go with one.
Yeah,
it's something that they experimented with, and I don't put a whole lot of stock in these rumors. If they even do this, it's going to be towards the very. I think
100%. I think it'll happen,
but I think it'll be towards the very end of the PS5's console generation.
Like you said, 3 to 5 years, maybe.
Yeah. But the thing was that patent wasn't even necessarily filed for a Pro. Right. It was just a patent for a PS5 with 2 GPUs in it.
Yep.
And the patent was filed, like, it's all of a sudden, like
in 2019, actually.
Yeah, it's coming up in the news all of a sudden, but the patent was filed like a year and a half ago.
Right.
Yep. Which means it probably wasn't even going to be the patent. Companies like this file patents just to save the idea, like they just to secure. They come up with an idea,
just in case.
They conceptualize it, then they file the patent just so if another company tries to do it, they can be like, "Hey, no, that's our patent. Step the fuck off."
Can Winterhouse Gaming do something? I think Winterhouse Gaming should patent PlayStation 6 name.
I'm fairly
good luck,
Sony's
dude.
already patented.
Let's just get ready. But that'd be like somebody buying like oh shit, somebody go see if PlayStation6.com is available. And then like 10 to 15 years down the road, we're rich, right?
Right.
People do that, man. People do that.
It's crazy, but they do.
I'm not going to tell you why. I'm actually holding a website right now. I'm expecting someone to call me and want to buy. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I have a website that you know, gonna be worth a couple bucks, maybe. I think I own like 10 domains for no reason.
Nice.
Dave's just out here buying domains.
You know what I still own?
Overwatch
is garbage.com. I still own Overwatch is garbage.com.
Of course you do.
Yeah, do you remember that when we put that in the website?
Oh yeah,
and it was just like you click on it, and it just came up, and it just said Overwatch is garbage, and there's a big smiley face. Oh man, what do we call that? Do we call that the Ben button?
Yeah, that was the Ben button.
Yep, that was funny. I can't believe I still own that crap. What are you gonna do? But yeah, I'm really excited. Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out real soon.
Dude,
next
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
The more I look, I haven't watched a lot of videos, but the short videos I have seen, it looks. I'm actually hoping, and the more I look at it, the more I hope that this is going to be true. I do hope it becomes some sort of game of the year because it's so ambitious. I like the ambitiousness of it. I just hope that the hype doesn't kill. And that's actually weird for me to say because Robin and I had that whole bet that it wasn't going to be game of the year. But
he's here. Careful.
He is. I know he's here. He's going to start yelling.
Tread lightly.
But the thing is, the more you look at the gameplay itself and the sci-fi-ness of it, I love that. I fucking love that.
That's what I've been saying this entire time. I'm in love with this game.
I'm really excited. I just really hope.
My
fucking hope it's good, man.
Is ready. All right.
I'm telling you, man. I'm nervous for it.
Ready, Kelly.
It's always ready.
It is.
What are you talking about?
Madden, as long as I've known you.
Madden 21 game of the year.
Every time you come up to Maine.
Do you think a Madden game would ever be game of the year? I don't think so.
Come on now,
not.
Get out of here.
I hope not. God,
where would have our gaming industry gone if that would be the case?
Bring back like Blitz 2001 type stuff,
right?
Where you can body slam someone at the end of a play.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was awesome.
You know what game I'm weirdly hyped for?
What?
Dare I say I'm more excited for it than Cyberpunk, which actually it came out today, but my copy doesn't come until tomorrow.
Phoenix
is Immortals Phoenix Rising. Yes.
Yep.
It's so funny because that game has not been on my radar at all. Like when they first showed it as Gods and Monsters, I took one glance. I'm like, nope, don't care.
That's the one that everybody's like.
They changed the name and they showed more stuff on it, and I'm still like, don't even give the smallest fuck. Like it was so far from being a hype game for me that it's not even funny. And then I saw they had the free demo on Stadia.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's an excuse for me to use my Stadia account.
I loved when you came up and said, I loved when you came in and said, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like this is what?
I played the demo on Stadia and I immediately pre-ordered the game because I was so impressed by the demo. Granted, of course I didn't pre-order it on Stadia. God no, I'm not a freak. But I pre-ordered it on PS5, like, you know, a normal, sensible human being.
Yeah. I want to touch it.
Luckily, Stadia facilitated the demo.
Wait, did you get it on Amazon?
Target.
Okay, did you do like a deal on Target?
Well, I had
it's only
I had like
$50 on Amazon.
Oh, I got it for a little less than that. I got it for 40.
Oh, yeah.
Because but it's because they were selling it for 60, and I had like a $20 credit from buying some other stuff during the month of November. Yep. So I got $20 off of it. So it's $40.
Dude, but, I was actually playing it before we started the podcast.
Yeah, it's fucking. And like I said, I played the demo. I've never been sold on a game so fast in my life. I'm just like,
dude, the comedy.
This is so fucking good. Like, I pre-order now.
Okay, so I'm gonna give,
which is crazy for you, Eric, because you typically don't do that.
Yeah, no, right. that's out of character for me.
I'm actually going to be streaming that on Saturday. It's one of the games I've been waiting to stream. But I got to tell you guys a little bit of what it's about. The funny thing about it is, the comedy is hilarious. It's really hilarious. There's two gods, Zeus and Poseidon, and they're actually telling the story of Phoenix. They're like telling the story as it's happening. And there's a few funny things that happen in the very beginning that I was laughing my ass off today because it happened. And I really think that you guys should tune in 9 o'clock Saturday morning EST and watch just at least the first 30 minutes of it, because they definitely wanted to make a fun comedy type game, but also be super serious. The graphics on it, also, I fell in love with my character.
It's literally like Breath of the Wild, but Ubisoft.
Beautiful redhead, and she's a demon, so it's awesome. Right. But the reality is, this game is
it's Prometheus, good. Not Poseidon. Sorry.
Yeah, Prometheus.
But still.
Right, but still. The whole entire point of it is you're kind of changing. How do you explain that? Did you look at the story at all?
I mean, just what was on the demo. It didn't go too into depth of like game's lore overall. It just kind of gave a pretty quick snapshot of, okay, the game's basically Assassin's Creed plus Breath of the Wild,
right,
with like a Bard's Tale style humor.
Yeah,
like that's pretty much the best combination.
And the whole entire game,
I can give it.
The whole entire game is based on a bet. And that's what's funny about it. And I'm not going to go into any more details because it is really good. But if you want to play it and you have Uplay Plus, it is on Uplay Plus. You can also buy it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. It's even on the Switch.
I'm gonna get a PS5 copy.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful game to be on the Switch.
Low res on Switch, but still, it's on the Switch.
I'm definitely gonna get a PS5 copy for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait a little bit because I got to say.
Just from the demo, it was so funny, like how the interaction between Zeus and Prometheus, like the game's being narrated by them.
Oh,
so it's like the game's. It's not like you're playing the story that they're telling,
right?
So like they're narrating it, and sometimes they disagree on something. So like Zeus will be like, and then they came across a Cyclops, and you see a Cyclops pop up, and then Prometheus is like, no, it wasn't a Cyclops, it was a Griffin.
Yep.
And then it's just like you're running up to fight the Cyclops, and then the Cyclops just turns into a Griffin because fucking that's what Prometheus said it is instead. Like they'll.
Ethan said. Wait, are you saying that Immortals is on Game Pass? Because that actually would be awesome.
No, I don't think Immortals is on Game Pass. I think he's talking about the indie game that DD was mentioning.
Oh, indie games, yeah. So speaking of indie games, I actually want to go back to the Bugsnax thing. I want to hear. I want to hear a little bit more about your experience with it and what you thought of it, because when I first started playing it and they were hurting all the little tiny creatures to make limbs, I was like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah.
So you have played a little bit further in. Now it's free.
Yeah, I've played a little bit further. I platinumed the game. Yes,
right.
I played a little bit further.
It is a free game that you can get. Well, it was for December. PS Plus.
They extended it for this month as well.
Okay.
But still, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people won't be able to get a PS5 until next month or whatever.
Which is probably why they extended it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is the first actual free PS5 game.
Yeah, because I think the game's normally $20, either 20 or 25, which frankly, I still think it's worth that amount. Like it is a startlingly fun game.
So I went over and grabbed this little tiny strawberry. First thing you do, you grab this little strawberry, and then you give it to this guy and he fucking eats it. And then all of a sudden he's got strawberry leg.
Right.
What the fuck's going on with that? I
Well,
want to know what the hell's that about.
I'm just saying the funny thing with that game is like, you know, the focus of all the marketing and all the stuff that you see about the game. Like at face value, it's you catch the creatures, feed them to people, and they turn into those like food items, and it's, you know, like
And
that
the bugs
element
are
of
snacks. They're all snacks.
They're
Yeah.
bugs, but they're also snacks. They're
bug snacks.
There's 100 of them, and the game is like, it's like Ape Escape
Yeah.
meets
Pikmin.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you know, the element of catching them all, because that was like one of the trophies in the game is catching.
Well, yeah,
all
you have to catch
bug
all
snacks.
the bug snacks.
But it's like Ape Escape, where and I mean, I know that's such an outdated comparison. Like most people haven't even played Ape Escape, which is sad. But more people should play Ape Escape. But like with Ape Escape, you had to catch all the monkeys, but there were different things you had to do, like different conditions you had to meet, or different tools you had to use to catch them. Like, you know, a monkey would run up a wall or something, and with your current tool set, you might not be able to get the monkey that's up on the wall. But then later on, get a tool that can, like, you know, shoot up or whatever and get whatever. It's kind of like, it's like that, where at the beginning when you first play the game, you won't be able to catch a lot of the bugs,
Right,
because of like your lack of tools, your lack of ability to do so.
and you have to be careful for the bird, because the bird will pick up the trap that you're using to try to get the strawberry.
Yeah. But so like there ends up being quite a puzzle element of like utilizing your tools together. Like, you know, you have the basic trap, which is just, you know, it's like a little barrel and it pops open, and it has like a small area where if something walks into it, you can close the trap and capture it.
Yeah.
And then like later on, you'll get a launch pad thing, where, you know, at first it seems like the only use for it is launching yourself at stuff, but then you like realize, just from the game doesn't really tell you a lot of these things, but you realize through either just discovery or through the PlayStation 5's card system that has like little video tutorials on how to do stuff. You can like place your trap onto the launch pad, launch the thing up into the air, and catch like flying bug snacks with that.
Oh,
but either way, like, yeah, so I mean, that puzzle element ends up being cool, but the reason the game is so good is the characters. Like, I did not expect to care so much about characters called Grumpuses. Like, they are so fleshed out. They're so like kind of like inclusive. They all have their own story. They're all really relatable, and they all have like kind of like their own like struggles and character growth. I'm
definitely gonna go play that, because
I've
been eyeballing that for a while.
Dude, I'm telling you, like,
I mean,
there'll be moments where it makes you like even like tear up a little bit, because the characters are just, you get so invested with it. It's like, why am I legitimately getting upset about this right now?
It's just a snack. It's just a snack.
It's just a snack.
I've never cried over a burger before. Wait.
Yeah. I was gonna say no.
Okay, all right.
back up.
Hold off there.
But yes, bug snacks, huge recommend.
Okay, so I kind of wanted you to talk about that a little bit, because I've been so interested in it. But of course, Spider-Man, Valhalla, Legion. It's like, holy crap, what's happening here?
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys about this. The love of mine. I love AAA games. I absolutely love AAA games. I don't love AAA games as much as I love indie games. And I've always kind of known that, and I feel like I've always said it, because you guys know me as kind of the indie guy. I've got so many fucking indie games. But I've got reintroduced to that love of indie games recently. And I'm going to tell you,
are you talking about the Pathless?
It's called the Pathless.
Yeah, that game is fucking awesome. I have
never, very rare that I play a game that has such a massive impact on everything I'm doing. I'm talking like, you know, the mental and just this overall goosebumpy feeling that you get when you play a game that just absolutely blows your mind, and you're so incredibly in love with it. You know, AAA games that have done that. Red Dead Redemption, the story, what you know, the characters, everything that you get into. Sea of Solitude, you guys have heard me say Sea of Solitude.
That's a really good
times.
One too.
This game called Pathless, if you've ever played Shadow of the Colossus, This game has a feel like that, but the art style, the puzzles, the way that you use your arrow to kind of boost you through these big, huge open areas is unreal. And the fighting, the boss battles, holy shit. If you guys are even remotely curious of what I'm talking about, YouTube right now, the first 1 and 2, I've got both 1 and 2 parts right now that's up.
Wait until after the podcast.
Wait until after the podcast. Stay here and hang out with us. But it's just the gameplay. It's not my face, nothing like that. And this sexy beard that's growing in wicked thick. I love it.
Wicked.
The second boss battle, all I'm going to tell you is Fire Tornado. I have never played a boss battle that got me so incredibly hyped up. Ever. Like, it's amazing. So I'm sitting there thinking, as I'm playing this, I'm just like, I love indie games way more than I love AAA games. And I know that for a fact after playing that game. I know it for a fact. And if you guys, I think it's like $30 or $40 worth every single penny I paid for it. And I would buy that game 10 million times more. It's unfucking real. I will have all 5 parts. It's about a 6.5 hour game. I'll have all 5 parts by the end.
That's actually pretty long for an indie game.
Yeah, I think it's about 6.5 hours. I did not platinum it or anything like that, but you absolutely can. I think it's like 13 or 15 hours or something like that to complete the whole.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Because the puzzles is kind of where it's at too. Some of them are really, really easy, and once you do one, you know them all. Other ones you really have to dig into your brain to try to figure them out. But the art style alone is one of the most beautiful things, and I really hope they make a Pathless 2 kind of thing. They shouldn't really go much further than that, because once you make a Shadow of the Colossus type game, it's really kind of a cookie cutter after a while. But I think if anybody has taken that style and put their own spin on it, this game has done that. And it's called The Pathless, and I'm telling you, after the podcast, go watch those. Go watch the part 1 and part 2, and just take the whole thing in. It's unreal. But I love it. I love it. And that's Eric, awesome. I think you and Aaron from Controller Throwers, I think you and him would really enjoy that game.
It sounds like it'd be right up my alley.
Yeah. And I told him about it almost immediately when I started when I finished it. I said, and
I'm pretty sure that Aaron and I have exactly the same taste in games, from what I understand.
Yeah, and then I thought about him, and then you, but I told him immediately. I said, you have to try this game. You have to try this game. It is blowing my mind, and I believe you can get it on Epic Store. It's on more than just one platform. But it's beautiful, and I'm going to stop raving about it because I could go on and on about this damn game.
so you mentioned that that was a game that was 100% worth the money, and you would buy it again and again and again. Have no regrets. What game I wouldn't buy again is Godfall. Luckily, I got it as for one of Target's like early Black Friday sales. Like as soon as November started, they had like buy 2 get 1 deals.
Right.
So I'm like, I was already going to pre-order Cyberpunk. I was already going to buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So they had buy 2 get 1. Godfall's basically free. I bought the pre-order for Cyberpunk. I bought Assassin's Creed, freebie, Godfall. I still feel like I got ripped off somehow.
It is weird, and that
maybe it just took your time, and that's why you feel ripped off. It just took some of your time.
Visually,
it's not great.
Visually, it's beautiful.
It's stunning. It is gorgeous.
Right. So while you're playing
it is the, as I mentioned during our stream. Well, I streamed it with Dave a couple weekends ago. Not last Saturday, but the prior Saturday.
Right.
And I mean, we had some fun. It's not the worst game I've ever played in my life. But I compared it to, it's basically the Killzone Shadowfall of this launch. Like
Right.
Killzone Shadowfall was a launch title for PS4, and it really showcased the graphics. It was a beautiful game it still is a beautiful game.
Yep.
But as soon as you actually play it, things just kind of fell apart. And
I mean, as
really
far as the
fucking
Killzone
sucked.
games too, it's not a good Killzone game.
I gotta tell you, when I bought Godfall, I got the bundle for PlayStation 5, and I had $100, whatever. I'm like, what 2 games am I gonna buy digital? Because I don't buy digital. So what 2 games one game actually I'm not really gonna care too much about, and the other game I just wanted it digital. So when we have later on next year, if we have another system for like out in the living room or whatever, which is just going to be the digital version, Carrie can have her Little Big Planet. Okay, so I bought Little Big Planet, which, by the way, I would love to stream that for you guys. It's in its entirety, but they used way too much music in there, and some of the music is part of the levels, so it's going to be virtually impossible. I'm not even going to try it. But
I was thinking of picking up Sackboy. Is it good?
It's phenomenal. It's
badass.
Yes. Yes. And then the second you play a level called Treble in Paradise, you might not care about the song, but take in like what they did. And it's phenomenal. It's called Treble in Paradise, not Trouble. Treble. Okay, so the other game,
I got the reference.
The other game I really didn't.
I don't know if you knew this, but I'm a musician.
Yes.
But
sometimes I didn't know if I was saying it right.
What's music?
Trouble? Is it Trouble? Trouble?
Yeah, it's Trouble.
So anyway, the other a game I really didn't care about to have a physical copy was Godfall. I really didn't care to have a physical copy of Godfall. It looked cool, but it was one of a handful of games that you could get at the moment with PS5. Stunning. That's really how you explain the visuals of it. It is stunning. Everything else, after you play the first hour, yeah, I'll have fun with a couple people. I had fun with you playing for like the first hour. It was more the banter and talking.
I was going to say, the game wasn't fun. We had fun because we were bullshitting, because we're talking to each other.
And I wasn't even paying attention to the game. I was just hitting buttons, you know?
Yeah, it's fun to play with friends to the degree of having a conversation with friends is fun.
Right.
Like, the game itself didn't lend any to the fun factor of the conversations we were having.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So if you've been eyeballing Godfall, I mean, sure, it's up to you if you like that type of game. There are other options.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'll definitely say, out of the launch games so far, it is the worst that I've played.
But I will tell you, everyone's saying,
I will say it looks. I mean, like we did discover, it does depend a little bit on like what weapons you use and stuff. Like some weapons are funner to use than others. But the game, for how much it looks like God of War, like gameplay wise, it is so stiff. Like I've seen videos of the game and I've heard people say that the combat's stiff, and it's like, I look at it, I'm like, it doesn't look that bad. It looks like God of War. Like, how could it be stiff? How could it possibly be bad?
I had to look up other examples of when you were saying it was stiff. I'm like, what do you mean by stiff? I looked up other examples of games that are stiff, and I know what you mean now.
Yeah,
very stiff, rigid movements.
Yeah, like first of all, the fact that you can't like cancel out of anything, which I mean, you know, some games like Dark Souls and stuff like that, you know, you can't necessarily cancel out of like an attack animation.
Right.
But the thing is, the big difference is the lack of like directional agency, I guess. Like Dark Souls, you can, if there's an enemy coming from the side, you can swing to the side, like and fuck up your microphone cable. You can swing to the side or whatever. But like in Godfall, when you attack, not only do you attack the direction your camera is facing, like you can't, if you hold the stick to the side and press attack, you're still attacking straight forward.
Right.
But on top of that, like your first attack, even your like light attack, will like lunge you forward like 5 feet and you swing. So if there's an enemy next to you, and you try to like react, like you actually have to physically like look over in that direction, and in some cases even like back up a little bit, like so that you can like press a light attack and do your lunge forward 5 feet and slash them. Like there's no flexibility in like how you like time your attacks and stuff like that. It's very rigid,
like in Legion. Does
not feel good
when you have somebody like they should have absolutely had like some sort of parry for something that was behind you coming after you, like they do in every game. Ghost of Tsushima, same concept. Legions, same concept. Almost everything, same concept. Canceling out those moves is kind of really important. And if that game would have allowed that to happen, it probably would have felt quite a bit different. But the amount of stuff that you go and pick up, which is in the same exact spot every single time you go into a level, same exact spot, it's cookie cutter stuff, makes the game just feel incredibly dead.
Yeah,
it really does.
Even if you get over the stiffness of the combat, which I mean, I started to like. The more I played it, the more I kind of like warmed up to the combat a little bit. It wasn't easy, but but once you realize how just like redundant and repetitive the game is, and that you're doing the same thing just over and over and over again, it's kind of like, okay, what the fuck is the point of any of this? What am I doing?
So we're not really recommending Godfall, guys. We just it's hard to put our name behind that.
Pretty hard pass, to be honest.
Kelly, everybody wants to hear you talk. So
everyone wants to hear me talk.
I will tell you guys been around for a while. Eric and I talk a lot, like a lot.
We do?
I didn't notice, man. Do I? Okay, so you've been playing Valhalla hardcore.
I have.
Hardcore. You've also been playing a completely different game, which I would like to hear about both. No spoilers of Valhalla, obviously, but
I'm not giving any of that away. That you guys can experience that for yourselves.
Yeah, the other one is WRC 9, which I've watched you play quite a bit. We do stream in the Discord when we're not streaming live on Facebook. We stream in the Discord a lot, so if you guys want to see the games we're playing or just kind of watch it silently, you can do that. But I watched him play WRC 9. So let's go quickly first into the Valhalla thing. You're quite a ways ahead of us. Without giving any spoilers, how can I ask this question? Without giving any spoilers, does the story or does the gameplay just keep giving? For example, Red Dead Redemption 2. The further you play, the more it just kind of like blows your mind. Every single step of the way, just something happens to kind of pull you back into it. Is that something that has happened with Valhalla with you personally?
Don't get me wrong, I think there's no comparison to the amount of depth that Red Dead Redemption 2 has over Valhalla.
That's all I had. I'm sorry.
I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 just, it's in a whole territory of its own.
Masterclass.
Yeah. But for an Assassin's Creed game, this is one of the best they've done in years, and it does actually pull me in, and I find myself thinking about playing it every day. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And honestly, one of the things that I like the most is the flighting.
The what?
The flighting.
The rap battles?
Not necessarily a rap battle, but like slam poetry.
Slam poetry? I keep calling them rap battles.
Yeah, it's literally like it's Viking slam poetry. It's fucking charming and amazing, and I just like it. They added some cool things.
Yeah, it's funny how like super involved the character seems in it. Like it's like a centerpiece of their culture. And every time you go to do it,
really is.
It just seems like they're so into it, so it pulls you into it. And that sounds really weird.
It's like their way of building themselves up, you know?
Yeah. So I did notice one time, if you look at the way, if you look at how the sentence is structured, you can actually pick out, without even really reading the whole thing, you can actually pick out which one you're supposed to do just by how the first one is structured, just where the grammar is, just where the comma is, all that stuff. You almost don't even have to read it, which was what I learned actually really ahead of time. But again, if you're doing it with your voice and stuff like that with no options and you have to choose your own option, it would be way harder.
Oh, absolutely.
I've barely played Valhalla yet. Like I've literally only put like a couple hours into it. So I've like, as far as one of those games goes, that's like barely scratching the surface. I don't know how Odyssey started, so I don't know if there's any like connection to be drawn there, but I really like the way they started Valhalla. How like, the way like you choose whether or not Eivor is going to be male or female. I like the way they handled that decision. How like the game starts off and you're a child. Like it doesn't like make you pick before you start the game. You're just a child, but like you can't tell if it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah, you can't at all.
It's a child,
Yeah.
And then after like the cutscenes transpire and stuff like that, then it gives you the option. It says like which version of Eivor are you, male or female? But the like default option is just like let the fates decide. Like it's like it's just whichever one. I guess the game just randomizes it. Or
that's what I did. I
don't know if it's based on like female. What you did during that like tutorial section or what.
Yeah.
But either way, I thought that was cool because it was funny because I was actually sitting there kind of like deciding, because in most of those most games that give you like the option, for some reason I err towards playing as a female. I don't know why. It's not like
I typically do too.
It's not one of those weeb things.
It
might be a weeb thing
because it's just one of those things. Like most video games make you play as a male character, so you just kind of want to branch out.
I feel like that. Yeah, that probably is it. It's like I just like the fact that the choice is there.
It's refreshing to have a good, strong female lead.
Exactly, it is. And I also understand.
Ironically, saying I did choose male Eivor for this.
Yeah, but like I would automatically choose like the female lead for a game like that. But I'm like, badass Viking beards though.
That's why that's part of the reason.
Like I almost went with male Eivor just because of that. But I'm like, as soon as that came up, I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll just randomize it. If that's an option, then I don't even have to decide. And I ended up with female Eivor.
You're gonna love. This is a small spoiler. I'm just gonna give it to you. I apologize. You're going to love making a character in Phoenix Rising because you can be a female but put a beard on her.
Badass.
I'm sitting there like,
I already know what I'm doing.
What? I can put a beard on my character? Like the female character? I'm like, yes, I want the beard.
I'm going to be a bearded lady.
I'm the bearded lady. Yes, you are.
I'm going to be a bearded lady, I am.
Of course, I had her the same reddish color in my beard, but...
right, of course.
Yeah, so the other, you were saying you weren't sure about the Odyssey part, but Odyssey does the same thing. You can choose.
Okay, like I said, I never played Odyssey, so I didn't know how that one.
Yeah, you can choose the girl or the guy, and then
I knew you could choose girl or guy, but I didn't know if
you end up fighting them.
Okay,
each other.
I didn't know if it like and aren't they like two separate characters though? Like in Odyssey,
yeah, they're two separate characters, Alexios and Cassandra.
Right. Whereas in Valhalla, it's the same character. It's just like the character can be a male or be a female. Exactly. It's completely gender neutral. Like the character's gender has no bearing on the story or who the character is. Eivor is Eivor, male or female, it doesn't matter. And I think that's a really cool way to approach it. I like that.
Oh, because it's still Eivor if it's male too. That's a really gender neutral name, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. I'm not Norse, so
I'm not either.
Know.
Yeah, it's a gender. It's a Norse gender mutual.
Like Kelly.
Name.
Yeah.
Like
not
Kelly.
So much. I mean, if you're from Scotland or Ireland, yeah.
You do look like a beautiful lady.
You are a pretty lady.
I am pretty. And I'm also a pretty lady.
A nice gender neutral name like
Dave.
Like Dave. Like Richard.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What I want to know is, Kelly, how is your experience with Demon's Souls going?
Dude,
that's what I want to know.
I'm actually really liking that game.
I was
And-
told that you went into that tower boss a little too quick.
The Tower Knight.
The one with the big, huge shield that's like taller than the...
dude, yeah, I got absolutely wrecked
Dude, he
because
got smashed from that thing.
I had no clue what was going on, and then I read something later, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I had no clue what I was doing."
Dude, all the fucking arrows are coming down. I'm just like, dude, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I walked in there, and I'm just like, I'm gonna try, but I'm probably
Who
gonna
told me
die.
that? I think it was Derail. I was talking to Derail. He
Yeah.
goes,
Probably.
Daryl said
Yeah,
that in the Discord.
he got in there quick, like a little too quick. That's
I
so
just
funny.
walked in. I walked in, and I knew I was going into a boss battle, but I had no clue what I was going
It
into.
was funny.
So
I was waiting
when
for
I
you
got
to
on,
rage.
when I got on the other side, I was just like, "Oh,
See that?
Okay.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny?
I'm getting to the point where I'm not really raging with that anymore. I'm just dying, and I'm just like,
And that's the key to the
Yeah.
Souls games. You're
Because
finally
you just-
tapping into it. That Zen.
yeah, you
Then
get
you gotta
to
realize
that
sometimes-
point, and
sometimes
like I think
death.
that's
Expect
think
death.
There will be more. Yeah, respect.
because
that.
you'll eventually get past it, and that's what I've come to realize. I haven't picked it up in a few
Will you,
days
though?
because I've been playing fucking Valhalla for
I might not.
balls deep, but like it's one of those things. Like I walked past the fog and I just encountered this guy, and I'm just like, I'm gonna die because I didn't know the exact like strategy to take him out. Now that I do, I'm pretty confident that I could walk in there and like know sort of my way around
Right.
the encounter and probably still die, but at least eventually get it.
Right.
But yeah, and that's the thing is you learn a little something each time you die. Like even if you go to fight a boss
Like to not die.
10 times and each time you just get wrecked, you learn something about the boss. Each time you die, you learn how they telegraph their moves or what.
So for instance, with the boss with the shield that we're talking about, you don't want to lock on to him because you're not going to be able to get behind his shield.
It is big.
Well, that's subjective. When it comes to Souls games, there's a lot of bosses where people say don't lock onto them. I am an avid lock on fanatic. I lock on everything.
I am too, but I found it
like,
easier to not lock on to
like
this
even
guy.
like even in the first Dark Souls,
So you could go around the
Sif,
shield.
Yeah.
Sif the Great Wolf, like everybody always says, don't lock on to Sif. It'll make it harder for you. Don't lock on to Sif. It'll make it hard for you. I still find it easier to lock on to him. That's personal.
And some
preference.
people do, yeah. Some people do for sure.
The Tower Knight, of course, like Demon Souls is the only Souls game that I haven't played and beat before. So it's great going into the PS5 version. Like it's basically a brand new
It's
Souls
brand
game
new,
to me.
Yeah. And to me, because I never played the original Demon Souls game.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. And I played a little bit of the original, but I didn't get very far.
But it was so broken.
I'm already
and
further in
bad
the PS4 in the PS5
control-wise.
version than I got in the PS3 version.
So
It was so broken
iron
and
it
bad controls wise. The original Demon Souls,
They
like,
ironed it out a lot.
yeah, from what I've heard, they absolutely did.
So before we get into WRC9, I'd like to hear a little bit about that. I just want to go back over to chat. Thank you everybody for being in here with us. On occasion during the podcast, we don't we read everything that you write. I know everybody here is reading everything that you guys write, but we don't always pull in the conversation. Sometimes we do, and we apologize if we don't say hi to you or this and that. We do see you, we promise. We do record these to put on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes,
We
all
love
that.
you.
We absolutely love you guys. So thank you very much for
Love.
being here. I've read almost every single thing that's popped up there. So just keep that in mind. That's all. This is about the only
We do read it
live
half
stream.
the time. Yeah.
Yep. This is about the only live stream that you will see us in where we don't always go straight to chat and have long conversations with chat. So we do apologize if that throws anybody off. WRC 9. I've been playing a little bit of, let's say, Dirt 2.0 over there on the racing
Rally,
sim because it's just a lot of fun on that. WRC 9, holy crap, that looks phenomenal. It looks so good, and
Honestly,
you actually make me look well. I'm terrible at racing anyway. But
I mean,
you make it
you
look
know
so
me,
fucking
that's-
easy.
before I got into RPGs, which is kind of like my bread and butter now, like I'm an RPG, JRPG guy. That's like my thing, my go-to nowadays. But like my bread and butter is racing games. I grew up on them. It's just what it is. And like rally games, I find myself right at home because it's just like everything that I love, like asphalt racing, dirt, snow.
Which is funny because I'm the one that used to build rally cars when I was younger.
Badass.
Yeah, we call them rally cars, but it was really just
they were junkers,
junker cars that we would run through the racetrack that we had out back in front of our house. Nice. Which, funny enough, is where I broke my leg, and now half my leg's titanium. But that game, they did such a beautiful job with the graphics on that game, man, and it looks mint on that PS5.
It really runs mint on the PS5 too, 60 frames per second. Like, it definitely makes it a lot easier to drive and like take some of those crazy corners. It makes everything smoother. I find myself driving probably better than I would, on a PS4 game because it's just so smooth.
Right.
Is that one an actual PS5 upgrade, or is that just the PS4 version playing on PS5?
It's a PS5 upgrade.
Okay. Because I was going to say, there are certain games, like, I've been testing out a few PS4 games just for kicks. And, like Days Gone, for instance, looks so fucking good on PS5. On PS4, the game was locked at 30 FPS. On PS5, it runs at butter smooth 60. Like,
dude, it's amazing. Honestly,
it can pretty much pass as a current gen game.
Even the upgrades that PS4 games are getting played on PS5, like for instance, Yakuza Like a Dragon, that plays amazing on PS5, and that's a PS4 game.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you why I'm laughing, because it completely threw off my... First of all, Dee Dee wants me to say out loud, my Dixie wrecked. I knew it the second I've seen it. People come into the stream and always want us to say just like these weird things.
Dixie wrecked.
Dixie wrecked. Also, Chris said, Dave is a botched Wolverine with his titanium leg. It's like they put it in wrong and I just became another person instead. Okay, so... Kelly, I gotta challenge you on something.
Yeah, what's that?
On the other side of the wall, to your right, is an absolutely enormous TV. 4K.
Oh, over there?
I don't know why you haven't hooked into that to play WRC 9. Because I challenge you at one of these days to go in there.
It's just like a pain in the ass to like unhook my PS5 from my capture card and then unplug it and then move all that shit
just
over
get two
there.
sets. Just get 2 sets of wires and just you know what I mean. That's what I do when I bring it over to you guys' place. I have a set that's sitting in a bag, and I don't even take it out. I just pop it off. Back before we were streamers, that's what we all had to do when we moved around a lot. But I think that would look fantastic on that 4K. I think it's like a 75-inch TV. I could imagine, and that living room is actually really, really small. So you sit so close to it. It's going to feel like you're in there. I'll even come over and shake the couch for you. You know what I mean? But yeah.
They'll just like scream in my ear.
Yeah. Take
Hard
a right.
left 5.
Take a right. Jump. Blind curve.
Jump over crest. Hard right.
Bacon.
Square right.
I don't know.
Left 4.
I don't know what they say. I'm sorry. I'm just yelling out random things. So it's getting just about that time. I do want to let you guys know every single day on the app, this hot stock app that just kind of drives me crazy. It's pinging that there are more PS5s available, and it's happening all the time. Don't listen to the app though. I think it's like 20 to 30 minutes ahead. It's late.
It's also pinging for scalpers, which is
it says this one's $1,500 on eBay. It's like, fuck you.
I mean, you can filter out the high priced ones though. That's what I ended up doing. So, like when Amazon had them popping up at like $1,500 or whatever, I found out that you can filter like only ones that are under $600 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that way I would.
Which is how you get the legitimate ones.
But the point is, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on all these. It's very difficult to get them right now, but it's not impossible. It's really not. You just have to keep trying.
It's not impossible.
I'm literally speaking directly to Shane at the moment. I know he's sitting right next to you. You really have to.
No,
he went to bed. Okay. Good night, Shane. I love you. You just have to keep trying, and PlayStation Direct is probably your best bet, because it's direct. I don't know.
Well,
wow. You wouldn't.
PlayStation Direct is the only one that's where both Kelly and I managed to secure ours, and another friend of mine from.
It seems like the most legitimate route, because
you actually have to sign into your PSN account, because this is the thing. You actually have to sign into your PSN account, and it's one console per account. One console per household. And what that does is that circumvents the way that the scalpers use bots to, mass purchase like thousands of systems at a time, because, they don't have thousands of PSN accounts.
Yep.
And the way the website like kind of throttles users going in there, I spent days, literal days. I drove my wife insane. Mm-hmm. Like I was at my computer with, my 3 monitors up, a couple web browsers up on each monitor. Like I had like 6 to 7 browsers
auto ticker
open.
Thing, the auto refresh.
Yep, the auto ticker, auto refresh. I had my phone going. I'm like sitting there just like totally connected to every website at all times. Yeah. And like the day of release, Walmart had, like every few hours they were dropping new stock. So like I'd sit there ready for the second that it would come up. And the absolute second that the sales would go live, it seemed like the world froze. Like because all of these like auto refreshing pages refresh, then all of them just stopped.
They stopped. Yep.
And then all of them go to like that, oh dear, something went wrong.
That's
page.
when you turn off all the auto refreshes and then you just use one.
Yeah. But then I was like, trying different variants. At one point I ended up with like 5 systems saved for later.
Oh my
because
God,
what would happen is I would get one into my cart.
I had the same issue, especially with Best Buy and Walmart.
Yep. You would try to check out, and then it would say, oh, this item is no longer in stock, saving for later. But the button would still say it's in stock. So then I click it again, and it would put another one in my cart. And then I'd try to check out, and I'd say, oh, no longer in stock. It's going to your save for later. And then I ended up with like 4 or 5 saved for later, and I could not purchase it. And sometimes I would get to the point where I could put my address in. And that's the thing. I already had all my info stored on the website, but the site was bugging out so much that even though I was logged in, I had my payment information stored, the site would just like forget my payment information. It'd be like, oh, put in your address.
The same issue.
Yeah. And I'm like, why the fuck do I have to put in my address? I'm already logged in. Like my info's there. So then I put in my address, and then it says, oh, sorry, it's not in stock. Then one time I got even further. I got past the address, and then it asked me for my payment info. I'm like, my payment info is stored, but okay, I put it in.
Right.
It didn't work. So that whole day was a bust. But then the next day, I was reading the comments on Hot Stock and stuff like that. It seemed like all of the successes were from PlayStation Direct,
which were hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't see a single person say, "Oh, I got it on Walmart," or "Oh, I got it on Target."
I haven't seen that either, to be honest. Like I have not heard anything good about pre-orders from any other company besides PlayStation.
And here's another
Direct.
thing that might be out of reach for some, but it might not be. Well, at this point, you just keep saving, right? Have too much available. Sometimes that can be hard. Have too much available. For instance, the other day, a few weeks ago, I think, there was bundles available at GameStop. Or I think maybe it was Best Buy. I can't remember which one it was. Bundles available. $700, $800 bundles. If all else fails, and you're waiting this long, and you keep putting a little bit of money away, if it takes too long, you're gonna have a bundle worth of money.
Yep.
You might as well just go for it.
You might as well just go for it. Take that plunge, because some people are less likely to hit that immediate bundle, which is the only reason I got lucky. Only reason.
Even if it comes with Godfall. Like
no.
No, actually, that's no.
If that's the only game you're going to be able to play,
Godfall.
like when you get your system, that's
You know where Godfall's going?
But
over there with Knack.
oh, back in the pile of shame. I played it that one time with you, Dave, and I hate to say that's probably going to be the only time I ever play the game. It's gonna go right next to Killzone Shadowfall.
I gotta still play with D-Rail because he really wants to try a few different things.
I might try to give it another go just because I have it. But
I'll play it with you, Eric. I'll play it. Yeah, we'll
Did you
play
buy it?
Yeah, I have it.
Why?
Oh shit. Yeah, why'd you do that?
Because I got it for $30 because I had a coupon through GameStop.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, that's acceptable.
Fair.
Because just turning it on and just looking at it.
Yeah. Luckily, each of us got $30 through some sort of like
30. Yeah, you got it for free. I got it for $30. I could tell everybody a bundle. Like
I gotta tell everybody something.
I could have got a better free game though. That's the problem.
You could have.
I have to tell everybody something right now, and this is very important. Everybody's shitting on both systems for all these different reasons. One of the reasons I see all the time for PlayStation is that it doesn't have 1440. I'm looking right here, this TV. This is an ultra wide. Okay, it's BenQ ultra wide. 1440. I'm playing PlayStation 5 in 1440 flawlessly. So I don't know if it's not stretched. Nothing is stretched about it. And I don't understand. Everyone's saying it's not native or whatever, but I don't know the difference. So if anybody wanted to get an ultra wide and then didn't because they heard that PlayStation 5 doesn't have native 1440, fuck that. Get the ultra wide because it looks phenomenal. I just want to let you guys know that. I just saw that and I was thinking about that. I'm just like, D-Rail actually came here to the house and I was showing him it on the ultra wide and he goes, "The hell's wrong with that?" I said, "Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that." You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
if anybody was curious, that's it is what it is. So. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to make one final note. I meant to say a minute ago, but I forgot. When you were talking about the price of like spring for a bundle,
right?
If you see a bundle come up or whatever, that's fine. For the love of God, do not resort to scalpers.
No,
do not feed scalpers.
You don't want to do that.
I've mentioned before. I've only resorted to a scalper one time, and that was for this guy right here, the limited edition Majora's Mask 3DS.
And you paid way too much for it, right?
It was retailing for $250. I spent like $370, I want to say, on it.
Okay.
So I spent well more than I wanted to. Still to this day, I feel a little dirty about it, even though this was years ago.
Dirty.
This is like 6 years ago or something now. Good God. Holy shit, it's been that long. But either way, but the reason I don't feel so quite as scummy about it is the fact that this was limited edition. They did not have any more runs of it. Like, if I didn't get it then, like if you go to eBay now to get one of these, like, new boxed, whatever, like pretty much a condition that mine is still in, it would still cost me that much. Like, they didn't do another run of them. So that was one thing. The PS5s are going to be mass produced. Fucking, there will be plenty of these on store shelves within a few months.
There will be.
Do not, for the love of God, do not spend $1,000 to get one now.
No.
If it's $100
I love
more,
the system.
Sure. $100 more? Sure. I get that.
Just on an ethical level, I say no, fuck the scalpers.
Just don't. Right.
Just don't do it. Even if it's $50 more, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the games that are on there now, like, we're having fun with stuff like Demon Souls, with stuff like fucking Bug Snacks, which Bug Snacks I think is on PS4 also. With other stuff. There are no, right now, I can honestly say, like, as much as I'm loving the system, I could live without it for a few months if I had to.
Yeah.
Like, if I was not able to secure one, I would be waiting till January or February or fucking March to get one. And I guarantee you by that time, there will be no shortage of PlayStation 5.
Not at all.
You'll be able to find one at MSRP. And you won't be losing anything by not having, like, got it, 2 or 3 months prior.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, I know we're trying to wrap up here, but do me a favor. can you do me a favor and just take your right hand, okay, put it like this, right next to your ear, and go, no, closer to your ear. Okay, go up a little bit. Stop. What is that?
That is.
I've been eyeballing it every time I'm looking at you, and I'm just like, oh, they're pretty colors. I'm like, okay, what is that?
A Club Nintendo exclusive. I'm actually glad you pointed this out because I forget how cool this is without telling anybody about it. This is a Nintendo, Club Nintendo exclusive Smash Bros. 4 soundtrack.
Okay.
If you bought the Smash Bros for Wii U and Smash Bros for 3DS, and you had Club Nintendo, they sent you a code within like the first month that came out. You got a code to redeem to have the soundtrack sent out to you. Nice 2-disc.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's badass.
That is badass.
I like forget that it exists until you just point it out. So yeah.
Well, I always look at all your shit that you have back there, and every time we do the podcast, I try to look at what's new.
Right.
Because every time we have a podcast, there is something new. The last podcast that we had, you had actually brought your Dark Souls thing home. Yeah.
I have this.
Which, funny enough,
if anyone likes,
that's beautiful, Kelly. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
and it's actually heavy. That thing's fucking heavy.
Yeah, it's fucking big.
So the thing that Eric has was actually sitting on my shelf. I actually purchased that up here in Maine, and it was up here for 6 to 8 months. No, almost over a year.
Yeah, it was like a year.
Yeah, and got it for a really good price too.
Yeah, it's like what, like $30 or some shit.
Yeah, it's $30.
The whole Dark Souls 2 collector's edition. I have the box right here. I'm not a keep the thing in the box kind of guy.
I'm not either. In fact, everybody close your ears. I'm starting to take all my pops out of the boxes because they're driving me crazy.
If I bought pop figures, I'd have them all out of the boxes.
The only one I'm not doing though is like right. I just want them out. Yeah. The only one I'm not doing though is there's a Winnie Pooh up here that was signed by the person, the voice of Winnie the Pooh. I don't even know which one. I think it's a new person, not the old person, because I think he passed away or something.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm not going to take that one out because, I mean, why would you? Okay, guys, this is kind of a little bit longer than normal, but
no, man, it's good. It's been a few weeks since we've had a podcast.
That's right.
And
we have a lot to say to each other.
It's just good to get together with the boys, you know.
I will say that one of our as a last thing, I promise you, last thing, 2 minutes. We do have somebody in our Winter House Gaming community that is building an app. He's building a game. Well, he actually did. He submitted it. I don't want to ruin it, so I'm not going to say too much. But I'm hoping by the next time we have a podcast, it's completely submitted, so I can tell you guys about it, and you can go download it. It's very cool. First person I've ever met that's building a game. And I will tell you, the game looks phenomenal.
Badass.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
It's
not my type of game, really, but I'm super excited for him. He's also in the hospital right now, so everybody just kind of, they tell him you hope he gets better.
We hope he gets better.
One last thing.
It's Dean.
One last.
It's Dean.
That's Dean. Yeah. No, wait.
Okay. We're good.
But no, one last thing.
Okay, you do. Okay, I thought that was a joke.
Yeah. No, but that was the hospital sending love.
Yes.
But
much love.
No, the one last thing. Until the next last thing. Worms.
Shit, yes. You told me that.
They did Worms dirty. It's
They done fucked up, bud.
They fucked up. It's not the worst thing I've played, admittedly. It's kind of fun.
On a scale of Knack to Godfall, where does it fall?
Oh God.
Well, okay, so I don't know if the game would be considered a battle royale necessarily, because I think matches have like 20 something people.
Wait, did you ever play Gardens?
But play what?
Garden Warfare?
Oh, Garden Warfare? Yeah, no, it's
not that
not
style,
like
right?
No, it's still a 2D. It's still a 2D game, so you're like running back and forth. Like when you first glance at it, like if you saw still screenshots of the game, you would think the gameplay might be the same as the original Worms games, because it looks like it. Like the aesthetic's great, it's like side scrolling, whatever.
Right.
But whereas the old Worms games were kind of more strategic and like, turn-based almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would move your worm and then you had all these cool weapons and stuff where you had like almost like precursor to Angry Birds kind of in the way that you like launched stuff over to the other side and blow up the enemies and stuff.
So all your worms are different people?
It was a very slow, like calculated game. Like it wasn't a fast-paced game.
Right.
But they turned it into a fast-paced shooter game. So like you're playing as like it's a 2D battle royale basically. You're just kind of like running side to side, you see other guys, you shoot them, and it's just
side to side. That is confusing. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I mean, download it. It's free on PlayStation Plus. Download it. I'll be honest, I played one match and then I deleted it immediately after because I'm like, this shit ain't Worms. But like I said, it's not the worst thing I've
played.
Wait, you
run back and forth?
Maybe you'll actually enjoy it, Dave. I don't know.
But well, I mean, in the original one, you're timed at how many steps you can take before you have to shoot.
Right. Yeah, it's not like that. It's fully real time. So I was going to say, depending on what someone likes, maybe some people will prefer that to the old Worms games.
I'm crying myself to sleep.
But if you were a fan of the Worms franchise to begin with, that's the thing is I don't know if the game has enough appeal to like draw in like newcomers. I don't know if like, Worms as a franchise has like that much allure in today's age. So I think it's weird that they would like resurrect a franchise like that. That's very much rooted into. It
would
like
make a better mobile game.
Yeah, it's
Ouch.
So the Worms franchise is so rooted in like PS1 era,
where
like,
games go to die.
Retro fandom or whatever. The people that like it for what it was. Right.
Fucking banana bomb. Who the fuck doesn't want a banana nuke bomb? I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I didn't see the fun weaponry and stuff either. Like I saw like. I mean, maybe there is funner weaponry like after you play it more, but from what I saw from like the hour that I put into it, it was just like
just
you start
pretty
with a
vanilla
pistol,
stuff.
and then over the course of a match, you might pick up a machine gun or you might pick up a.
You mean they took away the kamikaze pilots?
No, I didn't see any of that.
It wouldn't go over well nowadays, anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably not.
It doesn't have like the destructive environment stuff. That to me was like a Worms staple, was like the fact that like sometimes
the ground doesn't blow up.
The ground doesn't blow up. That was a Worms staple, was that like sometimes you wouldn't be able to hit the worm directly, but you could destroy the ground underneath them and they would fall to their death. So like that was the more I think about it, the more it pisses me off. No
napalm or anything? The fire thing?
Nope.
It's not Worms, dude. It's not Worms.
It's a multiplayer Worms.
I'm gonna begrudgingly go look at it right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say download it.
Dave, don't. It's a trap.
What do they call it?
It is a trap.
Worms Rumble.
Rumble, I want to say.
Worms Rumble, yeah.
They said download it just to try it. Play one match and then probably do the same thing that I did, which is delete it in disappointment. I did get like 5 trophies in that one match. So
I'm legit looking at it right now. That's fucking bullshit. That's just a battle royale. It's a 2D battle royale.
It ain't Worms.
It ain't Worms.
It ain't Worms.
Nope, I'm done. I just hit the button. I don't know what's happening here. Everything's glitching out now. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining us.